Definitely. He's a guy that'll be everywhere. I think just as a general kind of his mindset, I think, he considers himself a little bit more of a naturally offensive player. But again, as we talked about a little earlier, he's just too gifted to not be everywhere. Obviously, including in special teams as a returner, as a cover guy, and the defense is still trying to fight for him. He's not going to be in fall camp, and his availability after that remains to be seen. But just how things played out, we added a different guy at that position through fall camp. Expect to be back for spring. Don't put those kind of timetables on things.
What kind of pressure do you expect that to have on football?
What kind of pressure? Well, it'll be just dispersed through the rest of the guys guys that you kind of go into fall camp of they're going to be X% receiver and Y% tailback. You just kind of fiddle with those percentages a little bit, and we have a number of guys in that boat. Obviously, Byron Marshall's the natural guy that everybody would think about, 1,000-yard rusher, 1,000-yard receiver, excuse me. Then you've got a few other guys that have played that kind of all-purpose back role, and we'll just experiment like heck in fall camp, just as we would have before. We're not going to get into that. I mean, I understand the question, but there's a lot of things that go on in a situation like this that are, kind of measurable and immeasurable. Oregon way. Things like that, whether it's officials or weather or injuries or whatever, it's us, and everybody's in it for us. And there's a ton of guys that have put in a ton of time that as soon as you kind of elevate the absence of someone over the contribution of somebody to come, that's definitely not our way. But we certainly want to do things right. We want to be tough. We want to be smart. We want to be disciplined on and off the field, and we believe very much in what we're doing. We have a ton of trust in our program from the coaches on down. I know that won't fit on a poster, but maybe. Absolutely, yeah. We are constantly tweaking. Did you go deer hunting this morning, by the way? It's the only excuse for that kind of look. But we're constantly tweaking. I think that's part of it too. Is we have great people. We believe very much in our process, and then our process is always kind of in an evolutionary state of why do we do something? Why is this guy going to fit that role? How do we make this work with the next kind of wave of whoever? Why do we lift the way we do? Why do we eat the way we do? All the things we're constantly churning up the best, and that's we want to support our guys in the best way we possibly can.
Mark, what's your timeline for picking a quarterback, and what are you looking to do?
Yeah, picking quarterback I think is it has to happen. You can't say, in my opinion, you can't say by August 29th or pick a date, we're going to name a guy, because that might not happen. That has to play out. It's kind of like leadership. You can't just say, okay, Ronnie, Johnny, and Danny, you guys are the captains. That doesn't work. So that plays itself out. I think ideally, absolutely in an ideal world, which sometimes we live in one, sometimes we don't, 5 to 6 days before the opener, but been in situations where that wasn't the case, and it plays out and it works out fine.
Coach, what are you looking for most in a quarterback?
Scoring. We want to score the football, take care of the football, and score it, and that's really it.
You mentioned the Pac-12 media days. There was a possibility that you play two for
I'm not, I can't, I don't have a crystal ball. And that, I think has, again, going back to Matt's question, it has to play itself out. If that is decided in a week, if that's decided in 2 months, then it's decided. But you can't put a time frame on it, in my opinion. It'll play itself out, yeah. But just between all those guys of the kind of young skill that we have that are, again, kind of those hybrid guys, we already had in place a bunch of plans for Byron, a bunch of plans, in our world for all those new-ish guys, whether it's I'm going to miss somebody, but Kirk or Jalen or Alex or Charles, certainly, all those guys that have done that before, Taj, Ty, there's a bunch of moving parts, and those percentages kind of just work out of where, who plays at what spot. Yeah, he's fine. All full go.